Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Poland Daily History. Today we are at the city of Warsaw, particularly the region that was transformed into the Jewish ghetto during the Second World War by the German occupants. Today we will be speaking with our guest, Mr. Artur Górniewski, a tourist guide and historian about the 1,000 years of Polish Jewish history. When we are talking about Polish-Jewish relationship, one of the things I really like to go into are the prominent figures that kind of promulgates these kind of interactions. And I was wondering if you can tell me some of the prominent figures and some of the more prominent Polish Jews that left a significant impact on the country.
So after we talked through very important people when it comes to maybe economy or another industries, then now maybe we will mention someone who was extremely important when it comes to our moral spine.
Right, okay.
Janusz Korczak comes to my mind first. So his original surname was Goldschmidt, so that he obviously has Jewish roots. Right. Even though these were Jews of his time who did not really claim that he is Jewish, but it was a very internal thing. Sure. It's very nice to discuss on that. But what was most important is what Janusz Korczak did. He was running an orphanage. And there were homeless children that he was taking care of, not only in a way that he was providing them bed and breakfast, he was also their father. He was also their teacher. And the orphanage of the Jewish children was inside the ghetto during World War II. Oh. And one day there was a decision from German forces that all the children must be transported to Treblinka. So straight to the death camp. So these 200 children were supposed to go to the railway station of the Umschlagplatz. Right. They walked majority of the streets of the ghetto. All the people in the ghetto could see them from outside their windows, little children. And Janusz Korczak didn't have to go with them, but he went with them all the way to the railway station, inside the train, and to the gas chambers. He was holding the youngest child on his hands. And to make children feel comfortable, he explained them that they are going on the holidays, that they are going on vacation. And he went with them to the gas chamber and died over them with them in Treblinka. So that nowadays, when we sightsee the Museum of Treblinka, which is about huge monument, because there are no original buildings, facilities left over there. There are stones, thousands of stones, with names of the cities from where Jewish families were transported to Treblinka. There are names of the countries. Even Thessaloniki, Greece ghetto was emptied and the transportation went to Treblinka. And there is only one stone with a name and the surname of a person. And that's Janusz Korczak. And children. It's written Janusz Korczak I dzieci, which means Janusz Korczak and the children. So in Jewish culture, a stone is a very significant thing. Christian Catholics put candles on graves of their forefathers. I think many people do it. Yeah. But Jews put stones because a stone is everlasting, just as the memory should be everlasting. And then next to this stone of Janusz Korczak, there are thousands of little stones that people bring themselves from Israel all around the world, or they just found a little stone in close neighborhood and they put it over there at Janusz Korczak commemoration. And sometimes it's so touching for my guests that I just understand. I think that all the tour guides understand that this is a moment when we should just give ourselves a little time. I think that it's very important not only to talk, but also it's very important to listen.
Many Polish Jews were very prominent figures within their fields of expertise, whether it was mathematics, physics, or culture. Some of them became famous while living in Poland, others were acknowledged after having moved abroad. Next up, we will continue to talk with Mr. Grniewski about Polish Jews who have become household names in the world. I was hoping you can maybe give me more names and more backstories.
I will be happy to do so. So how about Władysław Szpilman, that we meet in the movie The Pianist of Roman Polanski.
Right.
Some of these elements of that movie were done in Warsaw, just as Władysław Szpilman decided to stay in Warsaw after World War II, an amazing pianist who survived extremely difficult life in the ghetto. And we watch this movie, The Pianist, which describes that life. So I am highly encouraging everyone who watches this program just to watch this movie, because you will be given a possibility to listen also to Frédéric Chopin music.
Right.
When it comes to the ghetto history, Adam Czerniaków. And this is how we are coming back to our moral spine history, because in territory of Jewish ghetto, Germans ordered that there must be a Jewish unit that takes care of everything. So there was Jewish police and like the Jewish administrator of the ghetto. So Adam Czerniaków was just trying to do his best to enable imprisoned Jews a good life. And of course it was extremely difficult. Sometimes even people were coming to his window in the middle of the night and screaming and asking for some bread.
Right.
So he was even trying to, having nothing, he still wanted to share it.
Right.
And then when he was given an order that he must organize the transportations to the east, he committed a suicide because he knew that he would participate in worst thing that we can imagine in world's history. He could presume that these people will be transported to death places, and he didn't want to organize it, and that's why he committed a suicide. So look, we have this Mesada, that we talked about a few episodes ago. If people were supposed to choose slavery or wars to the Romans, they decided to commit a suicide. There is Mordechai Anielewicz, who blew all thing up instead of being caught. We have Adam Czerniaków. So this is an amazing story.
As we can see, Poland has been for centuries the safe haven for Jews fleeing persecution. During the 18th and 19th centuries, the city has the largest amount of Jewish population in all of Europe. The two nations coexisted in peace until the Germans conducted the Holocaust. That's it for today. I'm your host, Benjamin Lee. I'll see you next time on Poland Daily History.